Hi YouTube, it is me, your favorite cute zoo panda, Panya! It is me, again. You will never be rid of me. I will keep being a menace on the internet, brighten your day and annoy you. So, today we're actually gonna watch SamO'Nella Academy! Yay! SamO'Nella Academy has really good videos. If you've never seen any of them, go check them out, they're really good. And I wanna watch with you today banned and controversial foods. Go leave some love at SamO'Nella Academy's channel. Go subscribe, like, and comment on their channel. And without further ado, let's get started!
Hey Majors, so I'd like to start off with a little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while
Island syndrome. Look at this dorky cow. This looks funny. It became a giraffe.
it can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee from. The St. Kilda field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Meet Kazumartsu, literally-
Wait. Hold on a second. How did we get from 0 to 100 that quickly? Excuse me. What the f do you mean they put maggots in their cheese? Huh?
Translation, rotten cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect.
That is so delicious looking. So yummy. Totally not yucky at all. What the f is wrong with human beings?
It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while. But cheese is safe and delicious.
Yeah.
Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese.
I mean, that already is pretty questionable, but cheese is amazing and cheese is very delicious. I don't care that it has bacteria and mold on it. The mold on cheese is very fluffy and very delicious. It is a delicacy. However, humans came up with eating mold for fun. That is so dumb.
So my guard would be down around Kazumartsu. I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew well enough, they can cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines.
Excuse me? They're still alive? So you swallow the worms and then they live in your gut because you haven't chewed them up enough to kill them. I hope they don't work like rainworms. Is that what it's called? Rainworms? I don't know. But you know those worms that I'm talking about, right? That come like earthworms or whatever, like the ones that come out of the earth when it's raining. When you cut them in half, you literally just created a second worm. So I hope that's not how these ones work, because imagine, okay, you have one of those worms in your mouth, right? And then you swallow it, you would have one worm in your intestines. But if you bite it, you would have 2 worms in your intestines. If you chew it up real good, you have 100 worms in your stomach, you know? That would be kind of terrifying if that would be how it works. So I really hope that that is not the case. I hope if you chew these ones up, they don't multiply because of it. Because those rainworm thingies, they do. And that is very scary to me. So, I mean, we could also just like not eat the worms, you know? Just a simple solution, a little suggestion, you know? Maybe eating worms wouldn't be the smartest decision, but at the same time, I mean, humans usually don't really make very smart decisions in the first place. It's like, if we don't have a problem, if we don't have anything that kills us, we just kill ourselves by eating worms and cheese. You know, it's like, what the f is wrong with human beings? That's so stupid.
Symptoms are similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's for this reason that Kazumartsu is banned in the EU and elsewhere. A black market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit Kazumartsu trade was estimated to be worth 2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to leave the larvae alive when you eat your mag and cheese, some consumers still prefer them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and fling themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat. like popcorn. Shark fin soup is one most—
Wait. Like fucking popcorn. That is diabolical. That is so screwed up. No fucking way that that's a black market thing that people do. To just buy them, put them in a fucking paper bag, and then wait for them to pop like popcorn. No freaking way. That is so fucked up. And I really want to try it. Is that a bad thing? So I live in the EU, so I mean, there's a black market apparently, you know. Don't know where to find that one, but I kind of feel like you have to try everything once in life, right? Like, this is not a kids channel, so maybe I can say this, but I feel like, you know, you should try alcohol at least once in your life. I feel like you should try a cigarette once in your life, right? Try it and then you can talk about it. Okay, maybe there are some things you shouldn't try. There are some things you can only do once in your lifetime, you know, so maybe you shouldn't do them. And some things are maybe a little bit too bad, like drugs, for example, I would not recommend. I would really not recommend to try them, not even once. No. But like in general, you know, especially when it comes to food, you have to try everything at least once. You can't just be like, ew, I don't like it. You can't just say like, that's disgusting. You have to have tried it once and then you can say no. But otherwise, if you haven't eaten it yet, you haven't tried it, you can't say that it's disgusting, right? You can't say that. The privilege of being able to say that something is disgusting comes from having tried it at least once. So yeah, where can I get that cheap? Asking for a friend.
Shark fin soup is one most of us have heard about already, mostly in reference to its effect on shark populations and the wastefulness that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never looked into the nature of the dish itself. I figured, right, the fins are just the only part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop, it's probably not much different from like swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards. Shark fins aren't even meat. They're made almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup, because without being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutritional value on its own. Their only redeeming quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows, in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia include snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy. The exact sensation of—
I gotta be honest, that does not sound very delicious. It looks pretty good. It does look really good, but I feel like, tasting like gelatin and stuff, and chewy and snappy, this is really something I would like to eat, to be honest. That does not sound very delicious. And also, this is one of the prime examples of sometimes there are some things you should not eat once in your lifetime. I think he is gonna explain why you probably shouldn't eat this and why it's forbidden. One of the things you already mentioned, right? The fact with the very much declining population of sharks because of this. I kind of wanna because it looks really good, but it's not gonna taste good. And no. Bad for my consciousness. Black market ware.
Eating this substance remains a mystery to me, and the unintended side effect of all this research is that I now really want to try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the one that's wrong. There is imitation shark fin soup available, but I've already decided that it's not nearly as good. So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there's 10 bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark, 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary casualty, but then we can end the practice forever. All done. You can find—
You know what? That is a good point. We should do it like that. That is a really good idea. Everybody gets one bite. I like that. Because then you have tried it at least once in your lifetime. Very good idea. I agree. Yes.
Finally rest, Mr. Ming. Come here, baby. Aw. Aki. What? Aki. Where? Aki. The aki is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican cuisine, where it appears in such dishes as aki and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the only part of the—
Those look like smoker lungs. Do you see that? Ugh. That's a smoker lung. You cannot tell me that that is supposed to be a fruit. That fruit has smoked so many goddamn cigarettes in its lifetime. It looks very delicious, actually. But it means I can eat it, right? Because it isn't food. It looks delicious. Very delicious smoker lung. Yum. Maybe it tastes a little smoky, who knows?
Fruit that's actually eaten. The flavor is on the savory side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the aki controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the arils are allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless. But if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease doesn't sound real. It sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's
That is that's really true. How the frick is that an actual disease? Damn. Jamaican vomiting sickness, toxic hypoglycemic syndrome, acute ackee fruit intoxication, ackee poisoning. That sounds really funny. That's so cool. It's not cool, obviously, it's a disease, but you know what I mean.
Actually an official term, and as for symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While ackee-based products aren't outright illegal.
Well, you know, a win is a win. Sometimes you just simply get a bonus effect, you know? This is like pulling a gacha game, and sometimes you get the 0.1% SSR super ultra rare benefit, you know? Yeah. It's worth a try.
In the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned ackee or going to Florida where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have bird's nest soup. This is
of course Florida. Of course freaking Florida has it. I could have guessed that. So if I want to try the Jamaican fruit thing, I don't go to Jamaica, no, I go to Florida.
bird's nest soup. This is another one that I've vaguely heard of, and for years I just assumed the name was a playful metaphor like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope.
What? Are these real names for food? This looks disgusting. Raisin peanut butter. No. This is just disgusting. Blech. Shit on a shingle. I don't even know what that is. That does look like shit. Did somebody shat on this? Is this also one of those black market delicacies? Humans are weird, man.
This dish contains an actual bird nest, not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but rather a specific type of nest only made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human saliva, a little bit more in mucus, and in swiftlet saliva, look out, pal. So all the swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to—
That is nasty! That is their own spit, and then they live in their own spit, and then humans eat it? What? Ew! That is disgusting! Fuck! Spit on that thing!
roost. That is, right up until some gourmand says,
Today I crave bird spit. You can keep the eggs though.
and they then reconstitute
Okay, I nearly threw up. That ain't a joke. I nearly threw up. Oh, that is too much.
it back into its original gelatinous texture. Unfortunately, these nests can't enter the US since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu. And now the
No kidding!
time has come to speak of the ortolan. The ortolan is a kind of bunting, which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird. They're birds. Like many animals, they have a long history of being eaten by the French. But what separates the ortolan—
Of course they are being eaten by the French. If it's not the Americans and the Florida man, it is the French. There are only so many possibilities, you know? American, Florida man, French people. Anybody else? I'm thinking. I feel like that's like the top 3, isn't it? Man, that's crazy.
from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about twice as fat, the entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive, and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass in—
But that is like a general thing that happens quite a lot. Isn't it also that, I could be wrong with this, but I'm pretty sure that there is a type of alcohol from Okinawa, Japan, where they drown snakes, poisonous snakes, in alcohol as well. I think that's a thing, right? Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's a general thing that humans like to do. Drowning animals in alcohol and then feasting. Either eating them or drinking them, you know? It's like either one. That is like a general thing. Are there any other ones? I wonder. Because I know about the birdie. Then I'm pretty sure about the snake one. Are there any other ones? There must be, right? Like, this is such a big human thing. There have to be other cases of this as well.
into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head while the other picks out the larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few
Understood. understandable. Nobody wants to see that. What the frick? You put them feet first, hold the head, and then you chew, and with the other hand, you pick out the bones out of your mouth? That is nasty. Of course, nobody wants to see that. You need to cover that shit up for real, for real. Ew! At least the French people have the manners to actually cover that up. They're literally, I don't know, censoring that shit.
Explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act.
Wild. But yeah, that's probably it. I do not believe that God wants to see this. God created humans and then he was like, nah. And then he wiped them all out, right? But if you survived on Noah's Ark, and now we have worse humans than before. You really need to shield that from God's eyes because let's be honest, he will draw on us again. After seeing that, I hope for the love of me that God is ignoring this and really can't see through a freaking towel, because if he would see this, he would never come back here and he will for sure abandon us forever. He will be like, nah, you know what, Satan? You can have them. That's what he would say. Just take them away. It's okay. Everybody go to hell. Yeah, they do deserve it. If God would see this, yeah, God, the father of us all, he would go out for milk and never come back.
Yeah, this one I'm okay with not trying, actually. Notable fans of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. To be part of that social club. Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007. Good. Not for any ethical reason, but because French people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully, as of 2018,
God damn the French. Unbelievable.
Their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the French can get back to it soon. Anyway, that's all I have.
No, thank you. I do not want my French neighbors to eat birds covering their faces with a sheet so God can't see. There is something seriously wrong with that, no? Like, what? And you know what? I mean, this is the end of the video, so I'm gonna say this right now, okay? Humans seem like they hate being alive. Humans hate being alive. They hate being healthy. They really don't want to go to heaven, apparently. What is wrong with human beings? It's like, you're alive, you're happy, it's peaceful, God loves you, and humans are like, no. No, thank you. And then they create abominations. I mean, it's probably just a very few human beings who are like that, but that's enough. This is so f***ed up. All of these dishes. Like, what? I mean, to be fair, like the smoker lung beans, they're not that bad. They're just a little poisonous. Whatever, right? But the rest is kind of like, oh. And the shark fin, I feel like, you know, with the idea that everybody gets one bite, that I can agree with. That's fine with me. But why would you eat something that is literally not edible? That is kind of dumb. It's really dumb, actually. Also, shark meat in general, by the way. I have eaten shark before, but like a different part of the shark, whatever, in Asia. And I gotta be honest, it's not bad at all. Shark does have a very good texture, but it doesn't have flavor at all. Like, they're flavorless, I feel like. But I also really like very strong flavors, so that may be me. But the texture's pretty good. I gotta be honest. I had it once, and I was like, you know, I could have this again. But the flavor was disappointing, so probably not. But a shark fin, and I heard that it's like they only catch them, cut off the fin thingy, and then throw them back into the water, and then they die. And you don't even use the rest of the shark. That's pretty sad, you know? Like, what? Why? Brutality! Humans! Into the trash! No. You know what? Hashtag cancel humanity. Yeah, I'm a panda, I can say this. I am human racist now. All the humans are one single race to me because I am a panda, and I say no. I say no. I am against humans. Human phobia. Yeah, that's what I have now. Because what the f what is wrong with you? That is crazy. Gee. Well, all jokes at the side. Thank you everybody very, very much for watching. Go check out SamO'Nella Academy's channel and his video. If you liked me, yes, you probably did anyway. And if you liked today's video, then go leave some love, please. Sub, like, comment. I would like to know if you guys actually have any other really f***ed up foods that you know of that he didn't mention. I feel like maybe I don't want to know. You know what? Keep them to yourselves. Do not put them in the comment section. or do. But yeah, that is it for today. I will see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye.